There are many kinds of ghosts, but crisis apparitions appear at the exact moment someone dies.
That's what makes them terrifying. It's someone you love.
And dozens of reports exist worldwide.
A crisis apparition is when someone senses or sees a loved one at the moment of their death, no matter the distance.
Victorians, indigenous cultures, modern hospitals, everyone reports this.
Not necessarily a haunting, just the final goodbye.
So my question is, do you guys know anyone that's ever experienced such a thing?
I do, is my father. What had happened was my grandmother on my mom's side was like sick with cancer. She was getting worse. And she was like about to pass away. My mom couldn't get like the time off from work to go see her before. And she was at work and my dad was at home that day. And he said that he was like laying down on the bed and then he felt somebody sit on the edge of the bed and he looked up and it was my grandma and she had like told him was like, "Oh, you're gonna get cold," and she put a blanket over him. And it wasn't until like after he woke up and he realized like, hey, like she's in Mexico. And I guess my mom got a call that day that she had passed away that same day. So I was
Oh
like,
shit.
yeah, I was like, that's crazy.
I had something similar. It's kind of more of a feeling and kind of seeing something. My grandma fell and broke her hip, and she had like really bad cancer at the same time. And she got sent to the hospital, of course, and wasn't doing good at all. Like we all knew it was coming. They told us it was coming. But I was at home, just in my room, just kind of chilling. Wasn't feeling great, obviously. I was pretty close to her. And I remember I was just sitting there thinking, like about my time with her. And little sparrow came and like pecked at my window, like really aggressively pecked at the window. And like I felt, I guess, comforted. I don't know. I didn't feel as bad anymore. I don't know if it's because my attention got drawn. And then, yeah, a couple hours later, like they called and my mom found out that she had passed. So I don't know if it's the same vein, but it feels similar.
I mean, it definitely seems within the same realm. Maybe there's a different name for something like that, where it's not, the person, but still something kind of giving you a sign.
Yeah.
Perception.
Right.
Perception.
Well, I mean, there is one example of a case here. It's the soldier in the doorway, and this happened in 1918. So in London, 1918, Helen sees her brother Thomas walk through her door, and he was in full uniform, muddy boots, exhausted face, and he goes up and he tells her, "I'm all right," and then just disappears. Now, the next morning, a telegram comes through that says Thomas had died the night before.
She described the trench mud perfectly.
Which is pretty fucking crazy. Like that much detail in an apparition like that. That's insane.
Yeah, for sure, dude. That's kind of terrifying. I remember I read about stuff like this, but like when I was a kid, though, like in there's these books. It was like scary stories from around the world or some shit. And it was the same thing. Like this guy went to go visit his friend or whatever. And his friend, they were talking and he's like, "Oh, I don't feel good." The one that came to visit. And then it turns out that he found out the next morning that his friend was never there, that he had died on the way to like his house.
Eesh.
Damn.
Yeah, so I was like, I
Fucking
wonder if
brutal.
that sounds like kind of the same thing, but when you were like telling me the concept of like today's episode, that
Yeah.
kind of like popped into my head.
Yeah, dude. It's insane what can happen to, anything that's paranormal like that, where it's in a sense trying to comfort before the fucking storm actually hits. That's, I don't know. There's something about that, which also kind of fucking terrifies me being, I have my own father kind of beating on death's door, and now my fucking godfather again. So it's like that fucking terrifies me. Like if I see shit like that, I'm immediately fucking driving in whatever direction of who I fucking saw.
Yeah, but I also.
Oh, go ahead.
Give me 1 second. Oh, fuck was that? My bad, guys. There was a fucking weird like woman yell.
Neighbor, maybe?
She's not home.
Is the calendar back?
No,
Nah, his ass ain't taking that back.
my bad, guys. That threw me off.
Just have your strap with you.
Yeah, always. I'm sorry, that fucking gave me goosebumps, dude. That shit was scary because it came from, since I have like the microphone, it like picks up the audio and I heard it from like behind me. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, damn.
I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to distract. What were we talking about again? Okay, yeah, because I'm hardwired in, and I was like, I should not have lost internet. That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, just a wee bit.
Yeah. Shit, what were we
Also,
talking about before?
So you hear a scream and then your internet drops?
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like, if you don't like it, imagine how the fuck
I
I
mean,
feel.
it doesn't help that it's super stormy here too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, the water attracts energy.
But is amber the color of your energy?
No, right now it's brown because I'm fucking scared. I just shit my pants.
Oh, nice.
No, not nice.
So that actually, not shitting yourself, but having a creepy moment actually brings us to another case of the boy at the foot of the bed. And this happened in 1960s in Ohio. So a mother wakes up at 2:45 a.m. Her son, Danny, stands in her doorway, glowing a bit wrong, kind of soft. Mom, I'm not scared anymore. And then he kind of just fades like smoke. At 8 a.m., police inform her Danny died at 2:45 a.m. in a car accident.
Shit, he came home one last time.
That doesn't feel like a ghost story. It feels like an emotional event.
It's kind of what it seems like. Like it's a blend of the paranormal aspect, but allowing people to speak to their loved ones one last time, you know?
Yeah. If that ever happens, just know you guys are gonna get some weird fucking ghost visits from me. I'm gonna be like, the tuna casserole's in the oven. I'm like, what? And then I just disappear, and those were my last words.
But I don't need tuna casserole. I just eat tuna.
Tuna casserole's in your socks in the safe. What?
Bumblebee tuna.
And then he faded away.
What? What does that mean?
I'm so confused.
It's gonna be one of those things like when you wake up and you're like, did I hear him right? Like, have you ever woken up and then somebody talks to you, or they wake you up and someone tries talking to you, and they're talking, but you don't understand. You don't like you understand the words are English, but you don't understand what the fuck they're saying.
If that were to ever happen, and that's what you said, I would assume that something happened that had to do with tuna casserole.
He died in a vat of tuna casserole.
I feel like if you die before me, I'm just gonna suddenly start hearing John Mayer and get like a chill up my spine.
Just a sweet guitar riff in the wind.
I mean, you better not die before me, being I'm fucking old.
Guys, we've already talked about this. If one of us goes, we take the other ones with them. If I go down, y'all going down with me.
My last words were, drink the punch.
Oh no. Because if I'm not having a good time, if I'm not having a good time, no one's having a good time.
Right. So there's actually another one too, which is the nurse who saw too much. Now, 3:14 a.m., which is crazy because that's damn near fucking witching hour. A nurse sees a woman standing outside a patient's room. The woman says, I'm here to take him home. When the nurse returns, the woman is gone. The patient had just died. The woman's sister had been dead for 5 years.
You know what? Nah, fuck that. I'm out. That ain't it.
Or Crisis Apparition Central.
Yeah, that reminds me of a story too. I had a buddy that worked at a nursing home, and this is not terrible. He used to sneak us in so we could go swimming in the pool. And he had this one patient, he had dementia, and what happened was he would like just stare off into a corner, and he'd tell like whoever the orderly was on call that night, he'd be like, "Oh, she's here for me." Like, what? Like, my mom, you don't see her? She's right there. She's here for me. And he'd be talking to like the wall for like hours, like if it was his mom. And after my buddy told me that, like a week after that, he ended up passing away.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I was like, does that count as this as well?
I don't know.
Feels like it.
Yeah, it seems like it would be. I mean, in essence, that's kind of what a crisis apparition is, you know. I mean, that one's kind of off because it seems like it happened a bit after the passing, but
yeah, that one wasn't. I don't know, because he said that his mom would visit him like almost every night, but he also had like dementia, so I don't necessarily know if that counts as this, but I think it's pretty weird that he'd say it and then like a week after. Well, this is like a week after my buddy told me about this, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, like a week after he told me he had like passed away, and I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. It's like he pulled the LeBron there. He hit a buzzer beater, dude. He called his shot like he's fucking Barry Bonds. He's like, I'm out. Mom's here.
I don't know.
She's got creamsicles in the car. I'm out.
I don't know if it would count because I believe I was dreaming when this happened, but when I was a kid, how old was I? I think like 5 or 6, maybe. I don't know. I was in like kindergarten, I think. Yeah, kindergarten, first grade, somewhere around there. And I had a guy that was like a family friend. He was like a brother. This was in Colorado. My dad had his own business. My mom helped out. My older sister helped out. And when they were busy or they weren't home because of that, like he would come, walk to the school, pick me up. We'd go walk to his house. Like his was around the one right next door to ours. And I had a dream that I was over at his house and we were playing something on Sega. I think it was a game called Combat Cars, which was like early fucking Twisted Metal, like top down. You're racing on the track, almost like back in the day when they had those racing games where you had the pedal, the steering wheel, you'd stand up and it was just top down racing around the track.
Yeah.
It was like that, but with weapons. And we were playing that, and I'd beaten him because I was a fucking champ at that game back in the day. And he was talking crap and saying that, I should have let him win and that it was probably going to be the last time we'd get to play for a while. And he never went into details. And then I woke up, and that was actually when I woke up, it was Thanksgiving. And we get the news that he had actually passed away. He had gotten a fever, and his dad, not knowing, because he was, if I remember right, he was a single dad, had given him Tylenol. And apparently that, when you have whatever sickness or fever he had, actually elevated the fever. It was either Tylenol or aspirin, but yeah, it ended up frying his brain.
It's crazy. Like, I feel like I've touched on this a little bit in past couple episodes or so, but like when it comes to apparitions, I feel like it's just the embodiment of like the human will. Like, we're willful creatures, so assuming ghosts and apparitions are representations of like the soul, you hear stories like that. Like, it was the day before Thanksgiving. Your cousin probably had the intentions of going and seeing you, even though he was talking crap to you. I'm sure you guys had a bond. And there's stories like, soldiers dying at war and then appearing to their loved ones back home because like that was their goal. Their will said, I want to go home. I want to be with my loved ones. So that's where they end up, if only for a flash. Or the story earlier about the kid showing up to his mom. He was going home. I feel like that has a lot of connection with why these kinds of apparitions show up, is just human spirit.
Sheer will.
They're kind of just willing it into existence. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I know I'm done and I know I'm leaving, but I want to just check in one last time. Actually, shit, I had never heard about this topic until we fucking started researching this shit.
Yeah.
Then I started realizing I've had a lot of this in my life. Because I just remembered another one. When I was younger, I was like, I want to say maybe 4 or 5, and my sister was like 5 or 6. I remember we were being real small. My oldest brother was in the hospital. Like, he was for like a while. I think his appendix like ruptured and he was in a coma. And then I think it was like a year or a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
And he was like he was in that coma. Like I said, I don't remember it too well because we don't really talk about it that much. And I was like little, but my mom would be in the hospital with him like night and day. She'd go to work and then go home, change, shower, check on us, make sure we're good, and then she'd leave. But I remember during that, there's that time period, we would stay a lot with relatives. Like, we'd stay with my aunts, like they'd take turns like taking care of us. And
Yeah.
I remember one time we were with my tia Chepi, R.I.P., big homie, rest in peace. But we were at my Tio Ramon's house. He's still alive, so no R.I.P. for him. But we were sleeping there. We were sleeping in the room, and I remember I woke up like at maybe like 2 a.m, I want to say, and I looked up, and there was like a light coming in through the window. I was like, "That's weird," because it's dark. And I was looking at the curtain, like above the curtain, it looked like the face of like my brother with like a bird like on his
What?
shoulder. I was like, yeah, I was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, no, I'm tripping because when you wake up and you like your eyes are trying to adjust and you start seeing shit. I was
Yeah.
like, it's got to be that. But I was like, no, that was too much of a vivid like image of like my brother and with like a bird on his shoulder. I was like, what the fuck? And I think it was that same night we had talked to my mom like later on that night. My brother had actually passed away and they brought him back. He happened like maybe like 5 or 6 times he had died and they revived him. And that just happened to be one. I was like, oh shit. I was like, he was checking in on us.
I wonder what's up with the bird.
It was like a dove looking thing. Like, like real Christian symbolism. You gotta mix a little bit of that Christian guilt in there.
It's baked in, brother.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, what the fuck? And I told my uncle, he's like, oh, you just missed your brother. I was like, and I told my mom, she's like, he died last night and they brought him back. I was like, fuck. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. And I remember I've told him this story before. He's like, oh shit, that's crazy. I was like, that's it? That's all you gotta fucking say? I seen you.
Yeah, it's nuts how that shit works, man. I don't know if we're ever gonna be meant to understand it, grasp why it happens, what, if it is will, if it's just sheer determination to see that person one last time, or if maybe it's fate. Maybe it's just anytime something like that happens, that's just a normal thing that happens. Because people typically don't share that kind of shit with other people because a lot of times, if you think about it, when people talk about paranormal activity, there's so many people that doubt it or talk shit about it that people don't believe you. And then, you don't want to go around feeling like a fucking liar, or like you're losing your mind, not knowing what you're talking about. So you hold that kind of shit in.
Social stigma.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, you go, oh, well, I have this ghost story. And like, nah, you see shit. You just want attention. But like, but I had seen it.
I had.
With my little peepers, I saw it.
He had a bird.
Like a pirate? No, it was a dove. The Catholic guilt's really in there. Yeah, but it's crazy just like the apparitions and shit like that. Because my mom still has like a lot of fucking stories about like her time in the hospital with my brother. And she'd like tell me stories when we were younger. And I was like, that's a trip, dude. Like, I'd have to grab some of the stories that she had and we can bring them on for some other time.
Just bring her on.
I don't want to translate that much. Mom, you're going to be in a show, but you got to go buy your own laptop.
That's the way to do it. I do the same for my mom, but she wouldn't know how to fucking operate it.
I say for fucking Mother's Day, we just get a bunch of scary stories from our parents and just like, hey, this is what this episode is.
I'm down. My mom has plenty of fucking stories.
Fuck, we're not even doing it for Mother's Day. Everybody collect some stories and we'll do it at some point this year.
I can definitely do that because just so you all are aware, this is going to be a part 1 of a 2-part kind of episode chain. But after that, we have a guest to come on, and then we could always do it for the following episode.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because I love hearing people's stories. Like,
oh yeah, dude. I
have my own. I've shared my own. I know, Duffy, you've shared a fuck ton of stories, and
and maybe a little too many.
We still actually have to hear any that you have at some point, Mr. Zero. So
I think he's done an episode, but we need more.
We need
there is more.
Much more, Playboy. No, it's like I said, the paranormal shit is fascinating. It's intriguing. It kind of pulls you in as far as mysteries and shit go, because again, you're hearing the stories, but wondering kind of how it all truly went down, what all truly happened. Like I'm a fan of that kind of shit. I love all that kind of stuff. I've been into the paranormal since I can fucking remember. So, yeah,
since you were a wee lad,
I've dealt with the paranormal since I was a fucking child. Like I said, I think before I was in kindergarten is when we had that one where my mom saw my sister in the doorway and was calling to her and telling her to get in bed so she didn't wake me up. And then she got up and looked at the top bunk and saw that my sister was sleeping on the top bunk and turned to the doorway, and that sister doppelganger demon thing was still there. So she just started fucking praying. She laid back down, started praying, and passed out, and then woke up and everything was normal.
So it would seem.
That's like sleep. Well, it's not even sleep paralysis because she was able to get up. That's great. And like, I know your mom, so I know her first reaction would be like, oh, fuck.
Exactly. Oh
Your
yeah.
mom's foul mouth, just like
Oh
mine.
fuck yeah. Very much so.
That's crazy, dude. I'd be fucking
Yeah, it
terrified.
was I mean, I was asleep, so I can't say anything, but yeah, I could have pictured myself being absolutely fucking terrified.
Imagine if it was like the doppelganger of you though, but it was just like little narrator, and you're just like your little trip
Oh
pants listening to
god.
corn with your Pokemans. Oh, that'd be hilarious. Your little trip
Right.
pants,
Well,
pajamas.
well, I'd hate to cut it short, guys, but while you guys were bantering about my trip jammas, I got a call. It was my mom, and I was like, "Hey, recording, call you back," and it's about my Nino, so I'm gonna go see what's going on. But
Oh shit.
as always, this has been Tales from Alheim. We appreciate you guys for sticking around. Again, part 2 will be coming out next week, which is, I believe, December 1st. Yes. So stay tuned for that, where we will have some more stories and some more kind of diving into this whole crisis apparition thing. And again, thank you all from the bottom of our blackened, crazy hearts.
Her charbroiled hearts.